If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. For Chris DiMarco, that phrase built more than a company. It built a philosophy.
My business partner, Lillian, and I knew each other from a former employer, and we just decided working for a living for someone else was not much fun. So we wanted to be in control of the means by which we made a living. So we started with a little bit her money and a little bit of my money, and we made common sense. And if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. We kind of thought that was fun and a little cheeky, and hopefully that would brought some levity to our clients.
Today, Common Sense manages over 1,500 units across Delaware, about 90% HOA communities.
Our portfolio is about 1,500 units, 90% of which is our HOA business.
Before Buildium, keeping up with HOAs meant juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and email chains. Every violation needed custom documentation and back-and-forth messages. Reports had to be formatted one by one.
We know we didn't want QuickBooks. No apologies to the QuickBooks folks, but it's just not a software that's for us. We're former bankers, and that's a little tedious. It only covers the financial piece, and it doesn't do maintenance and ARC requests and violations and a whole host of other things.
Chris wanted one platform to bring everything together without having to resort to a patchwork of different software.
Trying to shove something in a square box that came in round packaging, you leave corners. There's gaps.
That's where Buildium came in, purpose-built for property and HOA management. It gave Chris the automation and customization his team needed.
Buildium does a great job of helping us say, what's the policy or what's the penalty for having high grass and weeds, or having a swimming pool in a place where you shouldn't have a swimming pool. All those things we enter into Buildium, use that as our template model. And then when something is a request that we receive, or when we do one of our drive-bys in the community and see something out of place, we can either use the mobile app to then take a picture to then generate that notice to the customer. So we use that kind of seamlessly between the mobile app and the desktop app, and maybe even email after the fact to communicate with the conversation that's spurred on by the homeowner that says, I got this note, but I'm not quite sure what I need to do with it. It's a nice thing to have all that in one place.
That streamlined approach cut through the chaos. And when automation took over the repetitive tasks, his team focused on what matters most, their residents.
That communication is actually the heartbeat of it, because without that, the homeowner doesn't really understand what the issue was and always prompts a phone call, but at least that has it all together there. So that process is really working well. And then the automation, I guess, on the back end is we can then close that violation out, whether we assign a fee, sometimes that's necessary, and then it steps us through that process. So there's really not much for us to do then to monitor the situation and click a few buttons.
Next came batch reporting, a way to bundle and schedule reports automatically.
Been using the batch reporting feature since about the time it came out. Schedule that batch report to fire off on the 1st of every month, and that saves us hours of time every month just doing that for 50 clients. We do what I call our HOA management packet. So it's about 25 or 30 pages, email them out. So that saved us a ton of time having to do that.
Now, instead of digging for data, everything they need is at their fingertips.
Now, the nice thing is, instead of us having to go unearth that data and kind of be archaeologists of transactions, it's all right there. It's just at your fingertips.
Once automation was in place, violations that used to take 30 to 40 minutes now take 5 to 8, a 77% reduction in processing time.
What turns into a 30 or 40 minute process is down to a 5 or 8 minute process. Probably say, you guys save us a half hour each time.
Batch reporting added even more efficiency and consistency clients can see.
The nice thing is clients see a repeatable set of circumstances, so they get the same report presented in the same way, in the same order, every month.
That transparency helps board members understand their financial health at a glance.
Yeah, it definitely makes us a better business owner, and it makes our board members and council members more engaged in their business, so they can be better business owners and better financial stewards.
With time saved and processes streamlined, Common Sense plans to double its business in the next 5 years, and Buildium will be part of that growth.
Buildium is easy to learn, easy to use, has a complete source of tools. We can't see moving forward and growing without you guys at Buildium being a big part of that process.